Hey there, and welcome to episode 5 of Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile podcast. I am one of your hosts, Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Well, we made it. Number 5. How are you?
Yeah, good. We're doing the best of episodes, right?
Yeah, we're at like take 41, roughly. Right?
We are. We've been giggling trying to start this podcast for like the last hour.
You know, actually, you saying that makes me want to just quickly jump the gun a little bit, because I noticed one of your notes was just how incredible your giggle is.
So I obviously listen to the podcast once you've finished editing them. Justin does everything, by the way. I just sit here and giggle and make fun of him. But after he's edited and we get to listen to it, I like to listen to it to see what it, of course, sounds like, so we can make it better, make the next episode better and better, and constructive criticism. I have noticed now that I really hate my giggle. I sound so lame when I giggle. It sounds totally fine in my head. I feel like a manly man when I giggle in my head. But my goodness, when I giggle, when I hear it from the outside, it's brutal.
So that just shows how impressive it is that for 4 episodes, I've been editing your giggle just to increase the highs. I'm just kidding, but I should.
Still,
this episode, you're going to be like really high.
No, this episode, I'm going to be a ha ha ha.
That is hilarious.
Yes, I am.
Anyway, that made me think of it. You said giggle, it's your fault. All right, so tell me about your build. You've been doing. Do a refresher on your build and where you're at right now. Let's hear it.
All right, I finally had some time to get to maps, which was nice. I finished the last few acts quite quickly. I like those last acts because there's very few side quests you need to do for extra passive points. And finally got to end game. Tried to do it with my leveling gear, which wasn't special. It's not leveling gear. It's just whatever dropped. So I was pretty bad on resist. Tried to do, 5 to 10 maps with it. And just before the podcast started, I finally capped my resist. But damage is good and survivability will be good. I'm really liking it. I don't know what people are complaining about. It's a lot of fun. Single target damage isn't great, but the game's a lot harder too. So anyway, I really like the build.
When you say people complaining, are you referring to just in general or specifically to your build?
Sorry, specifically for that guide, I'm referring to the, which build am I doing? I'm doing my Scion build. It's Deadeye and Inquisitor. It's elemental hit with attached to, what's it called?
Ballistas?
The Ballista support, the Ballista Totem support. Mm-hmm. And Ballista Totem support's really weak. You basically need 4 totems, even though it only gives you 3. You have to go out and find a 4th totem just to make it worthwhile.
Sure.
But I'm quite liking it. And because you're constantly moving and laying the totems with elemental hit and with crit and with all the extra ailments that are happening, freezing and shocking, I really like it so far. I have a blue 4 link, yep. And I've been fine. So I'm excited to get a nice 5 link.
Nice.
How's yours?
Your survivability though seems to be at least reasonable so far, because you're early into the Atlas,
really
right?
Easy. It was really easy while leveling. Of course, it amps up a bit once you get into the Atlas, but I had 19% fire resist and I think 55 or 60 lightning resist, and there's a lot more chaos damage. Mm-hmm. And oh my goodness, I redid the graveyard. I did the new graveyard boss fight. Man, that's cool. I don't know if that was in our notes somewhere, so I don't want to jump ahead.
I don't think I've actually done graveyard yet.
Oh, the chaos. I just love how viable chaos resist. I feel like it's Syndicate, but without needing the crazy nerfs that Syndicate needed for a month straight. There's so much more chaos damage. The new, I don't really want to spoil it, but for the podcast, sure, I will for you. The graveyard boss battle that used to just be, you'd go into that crypt.
Right.
And then it'd be that, it's changed a couple times now.
Right. I think
they changed it again. And now it's kind of like an open crypt area where you fight one of the skeleton bosses that existed in campaign, but then once you beat that one, a whole wave of enemies come, and then a second skeleton boss comes, because I think in campaign there were about 3 different ones.
Yes.
And I love it. They're shocking you like crazy. They're throwing chaos damage at you from range. I really liked it, and especially because it dropped for me. I think it was my 5th map. I don't know if it's tier 1, 2, or 3. I forget, but it was, when you're not really set with your resists, that's a punishing boss battle, and I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But back to the build, I just finished capping my resists, and survivability was pretty easy before, so it's going to be a lot better now.
Nice. And damage with elemental hit and ballista?
Clearing is no problem. Single target damage requires some patience, but not only for the impatient, I guess you could say. I don't find that for me, I'm used to a slower paced game, and I don't find it tedious by any means.
Will you do anything to change single target?
Pardon me?
Do you think you'll do anything to change single target? Like, do you have any plans for...
Yeah, right now I'm using a blue...
Oh, right. 4-link.
Yeah, I'm using a blue 4-link right now. So all it does, it's giving me 18% attack speed and 24% elemental damage. So the second even if I had a white 5-link or a nice yellow 4-link, I don't think it would be a problem at all.
Nice. Yeah, so I am doing Spectral Throw still, sticking with it. And I'm into maps. I've gotten past all of the the leveling, all that good stuff. It's been decent. It's Solo Self-Found for me is a whole new breed of playing this game. Like, I'm just so used to hit end game, buy some of the gear that I want to at least make the maps a little easier to clear, make sure I've got the right resist. But the build that I'm just playing around with is working fine now that I've got my gem slots set up. I'm still also only running off of a 4-link chest, so that'll make a big difference once I can do that. And I'm swapping GMP for slower projectiles still, which I probably will do through the whole thing. Anyway, so it's been not bad. It's a little slow. I had huge hiccups as I was leveling, and I'm realizing we made the comment that we were chatting that weapons, oh my gosh, do they ever make such a big difference? Like,
and I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's just I feel different. It's weird that that's different. I mean, you've always needed to upgrade weapons, obviously, to scale your damage, but I don't know if it's just Spectral Throw. I don't know if there was a specific change that's made that different, but I have found that without that constant upgrade to weapons, which, by the way, upgrading claws sucks. It is brutal to find claws that have reasonable rolls, especially because I'm going straight physical. It's really hard to find replacement claws. Once I've got something that's rolled plus physical and plus percentage physical, I can't. It's really, really hard to find something that will improve that.
Gotcha. So. Well, I mean, I know your pain. I'm still using my blue 4-link, so, but I just love. I think it has everything to do with just the changes that they made to defense in the. How bosses are scaled, all the extra armor and chaos and elemental resists, and for everyone. I just love that update where they made them harder to kill, but they don't hit harder. I mean, some of the boss mechanics have changed dramatically, which makes them a lot harder too, but it just makes weapons that much more important. And I love it because for melee, they're much more dependent on weapons than any other type of build, I would say. Like, if you're doing spells, you can get away with not needing a fantastic wand or staff, right? Or, I mean, whatever else you're using. But when you're doing spells, you don't need something epic. It's just great to have. Right. Minions, you don't need anything, but of course, it's just min-maxing if you want to get a Convoking Wand with sweet rolls. Melee's desperate for a good melee weapon. And I love that right after they have a melee league, they come out and they buff stuff to make melee weapons much more important. I think it's really cool. I love how they did it.
It is, yeah. I think if I had maybe thought a little differently into maybe a different skill, or I don't know if I could have incorporated different types of weapons, but I feel like for a solo Self-Found, I made it harder than I needed to, because I've struggled to roll claws that are good to use.
Are you claw only?
Well, I'm spec'd into a lot of the claw nodes just for the leech and for the crit. But
so that's one of those things then that I guess you kind of cornered yourself into then.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm now into maps. I've gotten it. The Atlas. I mean, may as well just jump a little bit to that. Is kind of cool. I'm not super far into it. I've unlocked Xana, so she's back. Yeah. I've had these weird encounters with the new bosses like have just spawned in. I can't remember the name of the one that I've seen, but he kind of just spawned in and yelled at me and then took off, and it just got the notification to keep following him. And I like
I had that, and I couldn't see what was happening. The map was still busy, and I heard some dialogue. I didn't really know what it was, and
it's too bad
at the same time.
So I've noticed that as I've done more maps in that quadrant, he's popped up a few times. I haven't gotten much further into how that whole system works, but what I will say is, on top of the whole, trying to figure out weapons as I'm going along, further to what you were talking about with your build, my God, resist. So resist to me they've always been king. You get to end game, you get resists, you just have to. I have never felt more than this league. Like, yes, you absolutely have to cap your resist. It is, especially getting into these new bosses.
Yep.
I don't know if he just happens to be lightning based or why everything is lightning, but after he popped up, the bosses or just like random rares and just mobs would all of a sudden spawn with additional lightning damage. They would put these things on the ground. They were shooting. It was killing me so quickly. And I think I was at 48% or so, which normally, obviously that's not great, but normally in a tier 2 map, I wouldn't be, I really need to be at 75. I'd just be working to get gear. And as I capped it, I'd cap it. I had no choice but to actually start adjusting my gear. And it made a huge difference, which I've not had a league like that before. And I started thinking about it because at first it pissed me off. First thing I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired of dying. And then as I started to, adjust the gear, and especially with SSF, it makes it a little bit harder. But the ability to now have to actually plan around capping my resist while maintaining life and damage, it's actually made it kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like it really has.
Yeah, I'm really, one thing, I totally agree with you. I completely agree with you. And one thing that I think I already mentioned it, but just in case I didn't, I now only thought it. It used to be that you could just ignore chaos resist for so many of your builds until Syndicate came along. You could ignore your chaos resist and you could just do your 3 elements. Now I feel with all the different roles they've done, they've added a lot of chaos damage to some big boss battles, and a lot of the metamorph stuff specifically. It's almost like you can't get away. It's always going to have some sort of chaos AoE. It's really made it so that you need all 4 capped now. I used to just do the 3. I'm sure many did, but I'm really finding the value in crafting some of those chaos rolls just to at least get to the baseline of 0%.
I think I've
seen a lot of chaos damage.
Yeah, I have too. I don't know if I found it as it's definitely beneficial. I'm not at minus 60. I think I'm at 35 or something. So it's not 0, but it's definitely better than nothing. But it, to me, was not as bad as lightning. I couldn't believe the difference from 48 to 75. And obviously that's always going to be a huge difference. It's just never been a huge difference at tier 2.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've always felt like, okay, I'm getting into like 6, tier 7, it's time to actually start really paying attention to everything. This is like, it's cool. It's really cool because that one of the complaints I've had in the past is just endgame now had become stale.
Yeah.
So I think SSF
this makes it intense all the way through. Maybe we won't think that in the 5th league of this endgame, but
I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about how the endgame all works yet, so it's kind of hard to say. But I am enjoying the metamorph stuff. Is sometimes enjoyable. I've started to get some of the boss ones, the ones that you actually collect. I haven't not enough to actually do much with them. Some of them have been reasonable, but even still, some of them are very, very difficult, which is good. I don't mind. I don't mind not being able to kill a boss, like a metamorph boss.
Yeah. If
I made it too strong and I'm like, oh God, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
It sucks for me. I got to learn to the next one.
I've heard a lot of people, whether it's within my guides or on Reddit, complain that it's too difficult. And then there's some people of the mentality that are like, just turn the difficulty down. Like you're not forced to do the hardest one. And if your build can't do it, don't do it. And then there's other people that think, I've heard the complaints that they should be able to do the hardest ones. And I don't like that. I like it should be terrifying to do the hardest. Like if you got all the body parts in a map, it should be terrifying. You should expect it to be a long time, or you should, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it
totally
should be easy.
Yep.
Or you shouldn't expect to do it with mediocre everything.
Yeah, I totally agree. To me, it goes back to beta days and like the early release days where there were some builds just could not do it. You just couldn't. Yeah. And it wasn't something broken in the game. It was something you did just didn't work. And you either adjusted or I mean, then it was start over. But yeah, I don't know. I've been relatively pleased so far. I mean, I'm pretty early into the tiers of the Atlas, but I found the difficulty to be decent. I mean, for me, for Path of Exile, it's rewarding enough. Metamorph is adding the ability to get a lot of cool stuff that you couldn't get in other ways before, or you had to do specific league things to do it. So that's kind of fun.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's really cool. I think they've done a very good job. I know that there's glitches for people that are a lot farther into end game. Unlike us, we're still on our white maps. But I think in terms of stability, this was really, really good. I just, I forget where this is in the list, so cut me off if I'm too far ahead of myself. I just really wish that what they did was introduce this next league. Like, I love the new end game and I'm really excited about it, but to introduce a brand new end game and then go on a skeleton crew for Christmas doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but I think that's also for you somewhat related to other things, not just specifically the league, the big league changes.
But they're running into like some of the stuff that I'm watching. This one is a little bit farther down, but the guy that I watch, Rolax, Rolax on Mixer, his issues are very different than mine. Like, I'm waiting for, because I play standard, I'm waiting for the map tab to get fixed, but that's not going to happen until after Christmas because they have one person that works on the map tab and they're on vacation. So, but Rolax, his issue is he's getting to endgame with every single character that he makes. He's already on his fourth character. He's crushing endgame, and his issue is that there's a glitch with the final boss. And I've seen lots of stuff in the patch notes about the final bosses and how they're glitched and they're not dropping this or they're not, this, that, and another thing. And he can't do it.
What's the alternative, though? I mean, if you're suggesting that they push a big game-changing league to a further release so that they don't have it come over Christmas?
Right. I don't think anytime you're going to have a skeleton crew for 2 weeks, even if it's just 1 week, especially because it's going to be a 3-week point of the league, right? Like, this came out December, 9, I think it was. To have Christmas 2.5-3 weeks later, after you've completely revamped the entire end game, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's hard though, because if they come out with a league that barely has any changes, just because they're going to have a skeleton crew, that league ends up being garbage. It's people may not play it. I mean, the thing is, if they go skeleton crew for whatever it is, 2 to 3, I don't even think it's 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
2 weeks.
That's better to me than 3 months of a garbage league.
Well, but imagine Metamorph with the old Atlas. To me, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how everything works
with how it all works, right? Like, it's been a long time since I've worked in the video game industry. And when I did, I wasn't at the top of the food chain making the decisions with all the decisions that the higher ups need to make. But it's just, for me, it's every Christmas, I really don't get to play until the new year. When then the league comes out, and then it's going to be the Christmas league, as I call it, as a standard player, I don't get to play until January. So it kind of sucks. But
I don't see the alternative to that, though. And I think that, I mean, I can see what you're talking about in the fact that it's a huge game-changing league, and it comes out right before I don't know how often else in the year they even have skeleton crews. I imagine it's not very often. But I would rather it affect people may really, really be angry about the fact that I say it, or that they may disagree with me in some sense, but it's affecting the people who have a lot of time and have power rushed to endgame, which is awesome. That's cool that they have done it, But I imagine that portion of the player base is small compared to the players who are still working their way up through the Atlas. And you're never going to make it perfect. No league release almost ever has been.
Yeah.
So there's going to be something that goes wrong. To me, at least, there's nothing game breaking. Even the ones I've read.
Not for league players.
Yeah, but I don't care about standard. But I mean, even on standard,
you're in the minority there.
No, I definitely know for sure I'm not on that one. Most of them I might be in the minority. That one I'm definitely not. But even your issue, it's still very specific to a mechanic not working. Not all mechanics not working. Now, granted, it's a pretty. I read true. That they like literally turned it off, right? Like they just turned off the convert button. I thought I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. It turned off. And it's true. I could play it. I could spend $15 and get a new map stash tab.
No, I don't think you should. And I agree, like the frustration that comes from that. But I don't think you'll ever have a league release that's going to be perfect off the bat, even 2 to 3 weeks in. Hopefully it's as close as possible. But I read the complaints. I've read the comments that they've made. They're not, it works. There's just some stuff that's...
You're right.
It's kind of frustrating for some.
Glitches, but it's not broken.
I would rather, like I said, I would rather have maybe 2 to 3 weeks of, okay, this is stupid. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. And then they're coming back and they're going to fix it. And they still have staff working. It's not like a game breaking bug is just going to go on because they want to enjoy Christmas, God forbid. But if that means that, okay, I got to wait 2 to 3 weeks for them to fix something that is really just irritating me, versus having to deal with 3 months of a league that I found boring because they wanted to make sure not to get people upset. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's maybe worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, yeah, they could, I don't know. I don't mind it, but I'm not there. So it's not affecting me.
Yeah.
I'm just reading it.
I need to be more familiar with the end game bugs that are happening too, but you've almost converted me. Almost. You may have.
Let them have Christmas, Ty. Just let them have Christmas.
I am. But have Christmas with the old Atlas. Anyway.
Just bored again.
So remember last episode we were talking about Helena showing up? I was all mystified and thought it was fantastic that when you click on a crafting recipe, she just appears.
Yes.
You know, she just smoke bombs like a Ninja Turtle and comes in and says her little piece and then goes away. I thought that was a really cool little thing. Mm-hmm. So I hear you've been a little disappointed with the frequency of it.
Now, was it just our last time that we talked about when you first brought this up?
Yeah, I think it was just last episode.
Yes. So it must have been because that's when I finally got some free time to play. And every freaking recipe, I would zoom in my damn camera, click it. And there were times, I think I was even streaming at one point so you could watch. And I clicked it and I messaged you and said, you're a freaking liar. She didn't pop up. And you said, oh, it's because you were standing right in front of it. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it was.
It's always your fault.
Now, I will just say I was about to go into it. I was in a trial when I got that one. So went to the next one. And it actually kind of irritated me a little bit because the next one I found was within just the regular story of the game. So I moved off to the side, clicked it, and sure enough, she popped up. And I was like, oh, damn it, Tyler was right.
Yeah.
And she did. She like smokes in and she says, I think she said the same line every time. Something about this is very interesting. And then she smoke clouds out. But it's only the more I did it and the more I was watching it, she doesn't. So nothing related to lab, nothing related to trials will ever show up. Nothing related to delve will ever show up. And once you beat the game, that's it. She's done. She doesn't show up in maps. Why do it?
It was just campaign. I was really surprised.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand. There's no, maybe somebody knows some weirdo lore to the game that somehow stopped at Act 10 that she couldn't help you with the recipes anymore.
Well, maybe they'll add it more. If it's a new thing that we just have, if it's new, right, and we didn't miss it before, maybe it's just they're adding it in and then they'll be able to add it to more as, maybe it just would have added, to my previous complaint about having a new Atlas. Maybe it just would have added more possible glitches when they were going on Christmas.
No. How hard could it have been to add it to labs, to delve, to maps, everywhere?
Every little thing you add can screw something else up.
She does nothing. She's not even an actual like thing that interferes with you. You can walk right through her. She does nothing. It's like she's not there. It's dumb. Just put it into all of them. It irritated me more so than anything that you told me about it, because now
I remember
it took me so much longer to get through some of the acts, because I would run into them and be like, okay, I gotta stand. Oh, maybe if I stand a little bit over here. Nope.
Yeah.
She doesn't show up in those places. It's really
well. I hate you more than you hate me for Helena, because you're playing solo self-found this time for the first time in forever, and you couldn't give me the ridiculous Val City waypoint.
You know what?
Curse you.
This time,
Curse you.
I found it almost right away.
Oh, I don't even want to hear your solo self-found luck with Hillock. What, did Hillock hold your hand and show you?
Nope, but something pointed the way. I could tell. I could sense it. It was those fireflies. They were leading me.
Yeah, all those fireflies that don't stack in your inventory.
Yeah, he's a crabby old man. Yeah, I found that one. I found that one surprisingly.
Thanks for not being able to give me the Val City waypoint. I appreciate it.
You have to work for things. That's how you enjoy the game.
Yeah, Val City is really enjoyable.
It's annoying because not only is it probably one of the most frustrating spots to find it for, but then also the next level that you load into is the freaking longest set of map or area, I think, in the whole game. That whole process to get down to the spider. Oh my God. It's exhausting. It's worse than Val Pyramid. Way worse. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's going down instead of up.
Well, it's twice as long.
Yeah.
Val Pyramid, I think it's 3 levels and then you're actually at the top. Whereas when you're going down to the spider, it's 3 levels and then you're in the second section and then it's another 3 levels, if I'm correct. I don't mind that part though. That one's relatively easy to navigate and there's not a lot of wrong turns.
Not a fan.
I don't mind it. The maps that get me, but that's just because of my concussion symptoms and stuff, are the maps with trees and the trees that go in front of the screen. What would be one?
Jungle.
I don't know how many.
Jungle is brutal. I actually noticed it just today. I was thinking to myself, okay, we were talking about that whole technology of the stuff closest to you cutting out. Yeah. You go through jungle, the trees do not fade at all. They stay right up in your face through the whole. I was like, why would they not have these ones fade out? I don't know if it's just because it's older and maybe it's more difficult for them to do that, but it is really weird to me that the jungle map, Jungle Valley, the maps do not fade. Or sorry, the trees don't fade.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. In the old Atlas, I would never ever shape the ones that had those tall trees that would go in front of the camera. It was just too nauseating for me.
Would it change it if it had that effect where they weren't really, I mean, they're kind of see-through.
Well, there's that, what was it? Is it Lava Lake map that had, I don't know if they're the same as they used to be, but the Lava Lake one that had Kativa, it was a tier 14 or 15 last week. That had some trees, some nice apple trees, or
but they were just little ones, right?
They were big. They didn't go all the way up across the screen, and it would have that technology where it would fade, so you could see yourself on the other side. That still gets me a little bit, but it's nowhere near as bad as something that's crossing my eyes really fast, like a car driving through shaded woods, and it's just bang bang bang, just shade hitting you left, right, and center.
Yeah, it's funny. I literally just today was doing Jungle Valley and thought of that. And then I think it was right after we finished episode 4, maybe that next day, I finally got to play, and I'm running through an area going, the hell are these things popping up on my screen as I'm like running through killing stuff? And that's the monster parts picking up.
Yeah, it was
so I'm sure people listening to it were like, what a whiny baby. Like, it's already fixed. And I'm sorry.
It got fixed half an hour later. But what do you think of it?
I do like it, obviously. I actually, this is just me being a turd. I'm not a big fan of the way it shows up, because and maybe it'll just take a bit of getting used to playing more to get used to it. But it throws me off for some reason a little bit. And maybe it's just because I'm not playing a very fast build. I'm not moving super quickly through the map or through the zone. There's something about the way it pops up that just throws me off from looking at what the drops are to that part going up. But I love it. I absolutely love the fact that I don't care what it does. I don't care if it flashed my whole screen. The fact that I don't have to go the fact that I don't have to go and pick them all up is so much better.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I like the animation. Yeah, I like it. I don't get distracted with it. I don't get it mixed up with other possible drops. I really like it. And the thing that I don't know if this was how it used to be because you and I have progressed slowly, but whether it was added new or not, I love that when you're about to go through a portal or a door, what's his name shows up.
Oh yeah, and kind of warns you.
Yeah, but I like that. Like, because I'm going to go through and I'm going to clear the map how I normally clear it. I don't go out of my way for any League content. If it's going to be, if there's 2 monsters left and I'm missing one body part, I'm not going for it. So It's nice when I'm about to go into this or I'm going to portal out that he shows up and he's like, hey, okay, let's use up your pieces.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it was it was a gamer's choice. You know what I mean? Whoever came up with that idea. It was the gamer in them that came up with that. That was really convenient.
Yeah, I think it is good because I would probably forget more often than not if he didn't do that. And I'd probably load the next map and be like, damn it, I forgot to use up those parts. So that's at least good. Now, did you get your Christmas gift from GGG? Which I feel like they should take away from you. I feel like people who are complaining about them going to skeleton staff don't deserve a gift.
I don't.
Maybe.
They deserve a wicked Christmas with the old Atlas.
Well, so what you're saying though is the people that stay working deserve a good Christmas.
What I'm saying, you twister of words. No, not at all. Not at all.
So did you get your gift from them? It was one of the boxes, right?
It was.
What you got?
I do not.
What?
But it was white.
So I not on that same topic because I did get a gift. I got the white mist, I think, for your base. The white, it's like a white. Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah. But I decided I was going to do the Grand Sanctum pack because I really liked the wings and I liked the outfit. That was I think it was the $60 pack. I'm still boycotting currently their core packs. I just maybe I might buy the snake one just because it is a little bit unique, but I just can't. I was like, well, I don't see myself going this time there's no shirt, so why spend $240? But I bought a couple of the boxes. I have five versions of, oh God, what is it? The Blink. It's one of the skills that they
Blink Arrow?
No. It's not Whirling Blades. It's something blade. Oh, what is it called? Anyway, I have 5 of them. I hate that. That's the one thing that drives me crazy. All I want is a damn portal. I think I've opened maybe 20 boxes, so not like a ton, but 25% of them have been the same thing. Killing me, GGG.
But I gotta say, normally I'm portals is what it kind of revolves around for me. I need to have a nice portal that matches the set, and because it's so much bigger and brighter, that color stands out to the others. Like you can get away with footprints that aren't the exact shade of white or green that you're looking for to match your set. You know what I mean? Because it's so much farther away and it fades and it's busy. But portals really stand out and they're there the whole time. You stand next to them for a while. The Grand Sanctum support pack is so nice that I'm going to get it, even though I don't like any portal that could match it.
Oh, you mean a portal that you have? Because there's portals that match it.
Not really.
You don't think so?
Well, sometimes it's not just the color, it's also the action that the portal does or the colors and how it goes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
the wings are really cool with it though.
I love it. I'll be getting it as soon as we're done.
I am actually using some of the white armor that I got from the boxes with the Grand Sanctum. Right. But
nice.
Yeah, I don't remember. I do have 2 of the white floaty mists that you can put in your base. I don't think you've seen it yet, but I did get that new base.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
The completely.
I did it mostly because I knew it would drive Ethan crazy. And so I loaded it up. I put it in there with absolutely nothing. And I just spaced the characters out. And when he walked by my office, I was like, look, check out how awesome this is. And he was upset right away. And I told him it's going to stay like that all league. I'm not going to put anything down. If anything, I might put like a fire pit for some random reason, like one fire pit.
Well, it's cold in the stars.
Yep. It's going to look
carpet,
awesome.
So you can sit cross-legged.
Yep. I'm going to put all of my pets.
That's right. So they can float around, and don't forget your mist.
Oh yeah, I should put down that white mist. I'm going to put it in a corner just so that when people visit, I'd be like, hey, did you see? There's two of them.
I'll trade you. I'll even give you a discount, but you got to go in the mist.
Yeah, there's two of them up there. But I love that they give those little boxes out. I think it's fun.
They're a very generous company. And every time I realize that we've complained about something in the game that I don't like or you don't like, I feel really bad.
I don't feel bad. I think it's good. I don't think we're being dicks.
I get it. I get it's constructive, but I still, when I remember that it's free and everything's free, I feel like a prick.
Well, I mean, you're a prick, but it doesn't mean that they're doing anything wrong.
I'm not the one that went solo self-found. You're a prick.
Yeah, but you also said that they don't deserve a Merry Christmas.
No, I said enjoy your Merry Christmas with the old Atlas.
Yeah, I think it's just
you
cool.
Not being able to give me the Val City waypoint is way worse than anything anyone else has ever done to me.
See, I think that Merry Christmas box makes up for the bugs. So to people complaining about the bugs, at least you got a box.
Right. And if you didn't play POE at Christmas, you're not a real fan anyway.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah. At least to log in, get your freaking box.
You did have to be in game to get it.
Well,
you couldn't click on it on the website.
Yeah, but you didn't have to be on that day.
I don't remember.
I got mine today, I think, because I didn't go on yesterday. You were on yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday I was able to finish my...
Just for the box?
No, I was able to finish an act or two yesterday. I think it was yesterday that I got to maps. Ooh.
Nice.
I think the box is logging in until January 6th.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't think it was just the single day. That would be a jerk move. GGG's like, hey, while we're at home,
no Val City waypoint's a jerk move.
While we're at home enjoying our Christmas, if you don't log into the video game on that day, you don't get it.
That's right. Enjoy your family, but
yeah, I don't think anything we've said is mean spirited. And yeah, I think we're fair. We're nice. Okay. We're nice people in general, right?
Well, one of us.
Yeah, me. That's true.
Yeah.
So I looked through the post that they made because they had put up a post about like some of the known issues that they were going to deal with. But nothing in there really like stood out to me like, oh my gosh, I can't play this. I will be honest. There is one that says the convert maps button in the map stash tab has been temporarily disabled as there were problems converting to the new layout. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I laughed so hard when I read that.
Why?
You just popped into my head instantly. I don't know why. It just made me laugh. I was like, oh, but they're listening. They're listening.
Every time the game updates, whether it's on PC, and I hate how long Steam takes to freaking update a 30 meg update. But anyway, when it gives me 10 hours. Thank you, Steam, for being able to check the patch notes. Every time I'm just Control F. And then I see my console game updating. I'm like, oh, well, maybe because they group their patches together for console because they don't come out as frequently. I don't know how it works on the console back end, but that's what they do. And so then I'm like, oh, sweet. Maybe a new one came out for PC today. And then I Control F on the patch notes for Xbox. Map. I'm excited. It'll happen.
Yeah, to me, when I read through this stuff, there was, I think, only one that maybe kind of popped out to me as like, okay, this is actually something they need to work on. And it was releasing Legion generals during Legion encounters can cause a client crash. I think something that can actually crash the game, that's a bit of a problem. And that mostly just because we both dealt with leagues where, I mean, you especially, where that was an issue. So I can see that a little bit. But when I look at their posts that they put out, and this is days before Christmas, I think this one popped up. I don't remember who posted it. It still impresses me. Like they're legitimately looking into stuff. They know stuff's there and they're going to fix it. And the stuff that I was reading was not game breaking besides the fact that the client could crash. That to me is a bit of a big deal. I had an issue with one of the Val side areas. Who cares? It was not a big deal. It took me to when I exited it, it didn't bring me back to where I had entered into the map. I actually just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. The rest of the stuff was
even something like metamorph bosses not being able to be frozen. We're used to bosses not being able to be frozen. It was just chill. Right. So even with something that was frozen dependent, you're getting a very good chill on them, especially because it was buffed. So that's not even a big problem either.
Yeah. Nothing stood out to me where, and again, that could have been because there have been stuff fixed that were more game breaking that I just never encountered because I hadn't gotten up there. But it didn't really stand out to me as these terrible things.
Yeah, I can see the there's an issue where the awakened cast on crit is creating cooldowns when there shouldn't be any. I could see that being a big issue for builds, but at the same time, you don't need the awakened jewel to have a successful build. So
if you're already having a problem with an awakened version of a skill, boo-hoo. I don't feel bad for you even a tiny bit. Not a tiny bit. Go put the normal cast on crit on. I'm excited
for that to drop.
Sure, I'm thrilled. If it didn't work on the first week of a league launch, I wouldn't be like, "Meh, you wrecked my build." No, you haven't. Go put the normal one in. The one you used all the way up until you found that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw
somebody. We don't know if anybody's actually complaining about it, but we did see it on the bug report.
Right. I imagine it's probably because somebody complained about it. But it made me laugh.
Yeah.
There were some really fun things that I saw in Reddit actually in the last couple of days that made me laugh, or not laugh, but smile. They're only because I get so jealous. I still haven't seen Exalt this league. Nothing cool has dropped yet besides garbage uniques, which is still fine. But there was a guy that posted, he did contains a valuable gem.
Okay.
He got Enlighten and Empower, both level 4s. They dropped as Enlighten level 4, Empower level 4. And there was other stuff too, but oh my gosh, I was like, what the heck? There was a screenshot of it, and I'm thinking, in solo self-found, I would leave in a heartbeat. I'd be like, all right, I'm buying stuff.
That's right. Selling.
I'm getting stuff.
I'm selling.
But it was crazy. And then, okay, so did you see, I don't know how often you check Reddit, but there was a helmet that somebody posted that was crafted. It was with the Awakener orb. So where you combine the two things. Now I feel like this is a lie because this helmet just, oh man,
it's perfect.
It's amazing. Well, yeah, it used to be. I mean, it sucks now because zombies are terrible, but okay, I'm just going to read through it.
I don't think they're terrible, by the way.
We're talking about a bone helmet.
Yep.
Minions deal 20% increased is the,
it got a max implicit.
Max implicit of minions deal 20% increased damage. +3 to level of socketed minion gems. Socketed gems are supported by level 18 minion life. Socketed gems are supported by level 18 minion damage. Now, if it stopped here, you've already done really, really well. Really, really well.
Yeah.
Like last league, oh my God, you could have bought 20 mirrors. Everybody wanted every freaking minion thing. Now, we're going to continue on. Minions have 19% increased max life. Minions deal 20% increased damage. 5% reduced mana reserved. Global. And he had the enchant on it for Flesh Offering, granting an additional 21% increased attack speed.
For Flesh Offering.
And then he had crafted on lightning resist. But that is nuts.
It is.
That's seriously nuts.
And of course, it's incubating something just to make it even more exciting.
It just seemed fake when I read it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I would, like last league, I would have liked just 2 of those options. 2, 4, so there's 6 good things on there.
I can't tell you how much currency I've spent on console trying to get a +3 to the level of socketed minion gems. I still don't have it. I am trying everything to craft. I'm going crazy. I can't do it. I can't do it. And then here's this.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know what he was crafting for. I did read a little bit about the thread, and the guy who actually crafted it kind of came on and was like, I don't know what to do with this.
That's awesome.
Which made me laugh because I would be the same way. I would have been really upset that I didn't have it last league because, I mean, it's Awakener Orb. That's new though, isn't it? So, I mean, you couldn't have really done it, but still.
No, but it doesn't have to. I mean, I know you're against how zombies were cut down a bit this league, but that's not zombie specific by any means.
No, you could. Well, I know, but so are specters.
So all the minion buffs from last league are still applicable. That thing's crazy.
It's still huge. Insane. It's still absolutely
it's
insane.
Absurd. That's something like, even if you had a mirror, you would just put that somehow on display just so that you could look at it sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy. I couldn't believe it when I was reading through it. So cool. Well, yeah, I wanted to just give a quick shout out. We've gotten some pretty cool feedback from people that have been listening and people that have given us some advice and some constructive criticism, you know, the lovely kind. But yes. I want to just give a shout out to all those people. And we don't have a list of everyone, but we're going to start making a list because it's a really big deal to us. It really helps us figure out what we should do better for the next ones and let us know that people enjoy the time that we share together, you know?
Yeah, no, it's been really cool. It's been a lot of fun. We're only 5 episodes in, but every episode has been listened to more than the previous one. And it's exciting to see how it goes, but we just want to say a big thank you to people that do find this enjoyable, and we definitely would value your feedback for sure. So I know we say it at the end of every episode, but just to emphasize, if you tweet us at Forever Exiled 82, just positive feedback, negative feedback, whatever it is, we do want to make this a really good podcast for you and something that lots of Path of Exile players would really enjoy to hear. So let us know what you think. We thank you very much for listening to all the episodes that you already have.
If it's mean, we'll start a Twitter war. Straight up.
That's right. A fight to the death on Twitter.
All right, cool. Well, listen, thanks for everybody listening. This has been a lot of fun. This was episode 5 of Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tags, aka Justin.
AKA, I'm Tyler, also known as Wrecker of Days. Thanks.
Check out the show notes below to find more information on today's episode. You can find us online at www.foreverexiled.com as well as on Twitter at foreverexiled82.